Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Matthew Stevens from A Series of Little Efforts, and we are back with another video. So today is our very first question and answer video. I got a question from a subscriber, and I'm going to read it to you in just a second here. But if anybody else has any questions like this that they'd like answered, please just leave them in the comment section below, or you can send me an email if you don't want to leave it publicly. And I'll do my best to either make a video about it or get back to you as soon as possible. So here's the question. So the question is from Devin. Thanks for the question, by the way. Hey Matt, I have a question on behalf of a girl that I live with. She's not active, nor does she live an overly healthy lifestyle. She is, however, looking to make a change. She has hypermobility in her spine, which has led to muscular imbalances and inflammation of her spinal erectors, traps, and rhomboids. Due to the inflammation and swelling of the muscles unevenly, it's caused her spine to begin to shift, as one side is pulling stronger than the other. She was wondering if you had any suggestions on what she can do, both in her life and via exercise, to help correct and rehabilitate this problem. She's been restricted to only very light weight or body weight exercises and has limited range of motion due to the swelling. I hope you'll be able to provide some answers. Loving the videos, keep on rocking. Alright, thanks Devin for the question, and thanks to your roommate as well. I hope she's feeling better. Now, this is a pretty complex question and there's a lot of variables. So I'm going to try and break it up into a few segments. So I did want to put out a quick disclaimer before we get started that I have never met this client and any advice contained in the video is just to the best of my knowledge. I would still advise to getting this checked out by a professional, and especially with the spine, it can be risky. There are a lot of underlying factors that I may not be able to see. I will, however, try and answer the question to the best of my ability. Just use this information at your discretion because you have to remember that I can't see you, and if there is something going on that I can't see, then I'm not responsible for something like that. The first and most important topic to cover here is the swelling. So what you want to do is try and get rid of that swelling if you can. Swelling is there for a reason. It basically means that there's something wrong and your body has decided to protect that area. So if there is swelling, don't panic, but it is something that you want to get rid of before you get into any strenuous exercise. And that's why it's been recommended to you to just do light exercise first. So what I would recommend is starting with a lot of stretching and a lot of myofascial release. So stretching the hamstrings, stretching anything within that fascia. I am going to be doing a full video on the fascia itself and what it is, so you can stay tuned for that one. It's not done yet, so obviously I can't link it to this one, but keep an eye out for that one. Hopefully it'll be coming out in the next week or so. So yeah, with the stretching though, what you can do is basically work your way up the whole posterior chain. So starting from your calves up through your hamstrings and your lower back, and that should help release a lot of the pressure. Now, just doing this once isn't going to do anything. So I want to put that out there. Really make sure that you are doing this very, very often, like twice a day, 3 sets of 30 seconds each, and go through the whole routine twice a day. And really do this for probably a couple of weeks. And what this is going to do is, one, it's going to release all the tension on your back, which is going to be huge. The second thing is it's going to get the blood flowing. So one of the easiest ways to reduce tension in swelling is to get the blood flowing. So a lot of this stretching will help to do that. Now, in terms of the lateral movement, you have to remember that what you're doing with the stretching, if you're stretching both sides at the same time, you'll probably come down twisted. So what I would recommend is, say you're stretching your hamstrings, do one side at a time. If you do both at the same time, you come down twisted, you may in fact just make the problem worse. So really focus on each leg individually, 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other side, and then move on. So the second point I'd like to make is, I know it didn't say it in the question, but I would definitely be concerned about some excess weight in the area. So it does say that you haven't been very active. So if you are a little bit overweight, it would be a good idea to start really work on your diet. try and eat really clean. Try and do some light cardio. Like when I'm saying cardio, I mean like go for a walk. You can probably start this right away, starting day one. So in the morning, do your 20 minutes of stretching. Then at some point during the day, go for a nice walk. And then in the evening again, do the stretching again. And that'll be a good start for your first couple of weeks. Obviously, throughout the weeks, as you start feeling better with the walking, you can increase the distance on that. Don't go too crazy, but just enough that you want to start creating a calorie deficit so you can at least lose a couple of pounds. If you do need to lose some weight, then losing that weight will really help take some of the pressure off your organs and make everything a lot easier. Obviously, any excess weight means every single step you have to be carrying that around. That's just an added extra pressure to your body that your body doesn't need, especially right now when you're trying to deal with imbalances. Any extra pressure on those imbalances obviously is just going to make the problem worse. So now a couple of weeks have gone by, and hopefully the swelling has gone down, and you've really started to make a difference in your diet and your cardio, and you're starting to feel a little bit better. So now it's time to head to the gym. You've already made a little bit of progress, so hopefully by this point you're starting to feel pretty confident about the fact that this is going to work, which is great, but at the same time, don't let that confidence give you a false sense of security. Just because you're starting to feel a little bit better and you're starting to take care of yourself doesn't mean you want to overdo it in the gym. In fact, it's quite the opposite. You want to start super, super, super slow. Whatever you think you can do like 40% of that. Say day one goes great, and that 40% of what you think you can do, you weren't sore at all, and I'm saying 2 days later you weren't sore at all, then great. Bump it up to maybe 50%. But don't jump in and just do what you think you can do, because you're going to make the problem worse. Remember, this is rehab. This doesn't count as just going to the gym to get in shape. It's totally different. When you're dealing with an injury, which is pretty much what this is, you really want to go super, super slow. Pulling anything at this point will only make the problem worse. So again, start at around 40%. What I would recommend doing in the gym is, first of all, make sure everything you do is unilateral. So nothing using both arms or legs at the same time. So what do I mean by that? It means no, say, squats. If you're going to do leg exercises, do one leg at a time. If you're going to do rows for your back, do one arm at a time, change angles, just go really, really light, and focus on getting the contraction in the muscles you're trying to work. The reason we're doing that is because if, say, one leg is stronger than the other and you come into a squat, you're going to come down slightly twisted. Coming down slightly twisted is going to put the pressure onto the muscles that are already imbalanced. So when I say that, what that means is the imbalance is one muscle is stronger than the other. So when you do the squat, you're going to use the stronger muscle instead of the weaker muscle, therefore making the stronger muscle stronger and the weak muscle stays the same. So that'll just make the twist worse and worse and worse. So doing one arm or one leg at a time will allow each side to grow evenly. Now, whatever you do, just because you can pull more with one arm, do not increase the weight for the stronger side. I get this question a lot and it drives me crazy, but make sure you're using the same weight on both sides, no matter what. Finally, which individual exercises to do. So I'm not going to give you a precise program. If you do want a precise program, you can contact me directly and we can talk about that. But I will give you some sorts of examples as to what sort of exercises you should be doing. So in terms of the legs, basically what you want to do is just focus on hitting the hamstrings, the quads, and the glutes. When I say the glutes, you really have to make sure that you're hitting the muscle properly. So take the time, do some glute activation exercises, and go from there. Remember, these are all single leg, so no squats. And also, one of the things I do want to point out is for legs, don't do lunges either. You are just starting, and because this is more of a rehab type movement, just stick to the simple machine exercises for now. Something like lunges, there's just too many moving parts. It's called a compound exercise. So something like that I would not recommend at this point. It's too risky and too many things can go wrong. Moving into the upper body, really we're just focused on the chest and the back. So a basic chest press for the chest is fantastic. Again, remember, single arm. Because you're just starting, I would definitely recommend using the machine. Don't use dumbbells for single arm just yet. Leave that. I mean, you're going to have to change the program at some point, and leave that for when you're more comfortable. You can definitely do single arm on the machine. Just leave the other arm on your hip or wherever. And for your back, you really want to work every angle. So really, all your back motions are pulling. So when you're pulling, you want to come down straight down, you want to come down at a 45-degree angle, and you want to come down straight in front of you. So that gives you 3 different back angles you can use. Again, single handle because you're only doing single arm. So don't go crazy with any of the other exercises. You can even just use a cable for that. There are machines you can use as well if you prefer to use those. Just remember to go lightweight with them. So the final area I want to touch on is your core. So you definitely want to work on the strength of your core. You'll probably have a weak lower back and a very tight lower back. So I would really focus on hitting those lower abs in an inverted position. So maybe being in a plank, do the plank on a bench and doing knee-ins that way. Just something to activate your core and the lower abs of your core. Don't worry about your lower back at the beginning of this program. It's already pretty tight, so you don't want it to tighten more. You want that to relax, if anything, especially as your glutes are getting stronger. So that would be probably a good 3 months worth of that program or something like it before you moved on, at which point I would have to know more about the situation in order to advise you further. Again, if you do want more information about this, then please contact me directly, and we can try and figure out some sort of a program for you and go from there. All right. Thanks for watching. To everybody else that tuned in, thank you so much for watching as well. If you have any questions like this, please leave them in the comment section. Or again, if you don't want them in the comment section, just email them and I can either respond directly or I can do a video like this for you. So I hope this helped. And if anybody has any questions, let me know. Otherwise, just like this video, comment, and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button for me. And we'll see you all soon with another video. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.